It was done too well. It left out too many things.
So can you speak on Curtis Jackson? 50 Cent said that this is the first one.
I'm
He said
sure.
there's
I'm
hundreds
sure.
of hours of more footage.
I'm sure there was hundreds of hours of that was confiscated from all of Diddy's homes in that HSI raid that never made it to the trial. I wonder where it made
This
it.
is what Jaguar Wright had to say regarding the documentary connected to 50 Cent. And according to ongoing public discussion, the situation surrounding it is far more complicated than it first appeared. What many people now find even more surprising is the real reason Jaguar Wright ultimately chose not to take part in the Netflix project. Around the same time, Gan Deal, a man widely known for being close to Diddy for decades and for publicly claiming he knew many of the secrets being kept behind the scenes, was also noticeably absent from the documentary. Both Jaguar Wright and Gene Deal have since spoken publicly about being in discussions with 50 Cent regarding a potential second season.
Not in the thing, the lady was talking greasy to me. She had no right to talk greasy to me. And then she told me that 50 didn't have the power to do anything, but they using his name to like push the whole documentary. And that's what it was about.
And according to those close to the situation, plans were already being explored to revisit what was left out the first time. To understand how things reached this point, it helps to start with Gan Deal and why he says he decided to walk away from what he later described as a setup. According to Gan, about 1 month after Diddy's arrest in September of 2024, 50 Cent announced that a documentary was in development for Netflix. At the time, it was being promoted as a project that would include never-before-seen footage and would challenge what many people believed were long-standing false narratives surrounding Diddy.
In particular, Netflix docuseries that you've been working on. Diddy Do It?
Right.
You've been saying for years that you feel you knew Diddy's character.
Right.
Yet you said you weren't a part of that lifestyle. You weren't going to the parties. So what makes you so absolutely sure that these kinds of allegations that we've seen against him are true?
Well, I'm surprised by the allegations, as surprised as everyone else is. Like, I didn't make the allegations. I didn't tell people to say these things. It comes out, I see it in the news like everyone else. But I did feel uncomfortable with the way you would present the idea of going to these projects.
To come party with me.
Yeah. And then that swayed me away from it. Just that alone.
So you didn't realize
as much stuff was coming. Like, when I see him today, it was allegations of 3 men that said he drugged them. And it's a long time, to be honest with you. Like, when people don't remember being violated for 20 years.
In interviews from that period, 50 Cent openly stated that he'd been gathering material for years. He presented the project as something built on evidence, documentation, and first-hand accounts rather than speculation. Publicly, it was understood that if anyone possessed extensive first-hand information, it would be Gene Deal.
A lot of people want to know why you wasn't in it, man.
Well, first and foremost, I thought I was going to be in the documentary at first until I started talking to that director. I think her name is Stapleton. I don't know her name. The right? I don't know, man. Me and 50 talked like 45 minutes. The producers had been calling me and everything. So this one night, 50 called me up and, they got him on the phone. Me and him was just talking. We was talking about old times down with Black Hands, sit down with, with Puff Kids, the whole Puff situation, and this documentary that he's going to be doing. You know what I'm saying? So I told him that I was going to, have Kirk and Tim. Kirk will be the one who talk about the business part of it. Tim would be the one who talk about the growing up phase with Diddy and everything and over there working in the record industry with him and stuff like that. They was like family. And I was going to talk about, the street stuff, what was going on with Bad Boy, with the security, with Wolf, with the city college, with, the time that I knew about when I was with him up until about early 2004 or something like that. But basically the streets and then the traveling with him and the atmosphere and everything. And then go back into the Notorious Big stuff with the Tupac and the whole 9 years, all the stuff that I knew. You know what I'm saying? So we was talking, and he sounded like, yo, listen here, they gonna spare no expense with this whole documentary.
Gene had been around Diddy for decades, and over the years, he had repeatedly claimed to have photographs, witness statements, and even video material supporting what he had been saying in interviews. Because of that, Gene Deal was viewed as one of the most credible voices connected to the story. According to Gene, 50 Cent was fully aware of this and reached out directly, making it clear that he wanted Gene involved. Gene has said that compensation was not an issue and that 50 was willing to cover whatever was needed. Gene explains that this was never about money. From his perspective, it was about standing behind what 50 Cent had been publicly saying and making sure the information presented was accurate. Taking the offer seriously, Gene began organizing his materials and reached out to people he believed could further support the narrative, including Kirk Burroughs and other music executives who had previously claimed they were wronged by Diddy. Gene says he was preparing everything necessary to finalize his involvement. However, when he contacted the producer directly, that is when his confidence in the project began to change. According to Gene, it became clear to him during that conversation that the production was not operating the way he had been led to believe. He came away with the impression that Netflix was primarily using his name and image to promote the docuseries, rather than committing to fully presenting the information he and others were prepared to share. From Gene's perspective, the project appeared to be more focused on generating attention and profit than on telling the full story. Feeling that the truth was not the priority, he made the decision to step away.
She was calling me like I was lying. I was like, yo, who do you think you talking to? You know what I'm saying? And she was talking about, there's no way nobody paid. Nobody what? I say, first of all you people come with these documentaries and stuff, the first thing you tell me, y'all tell these people out here that y'all don't pay, and y'all pay. You give, if you can make a picture look like $10,000, $15,000, you know what I'm saying? You can sit here and tell me that you're going to pay me for my time sitting right down here with y'all. You understand? So then, one thing led to another. And I was like, all right, well, then, F you. I spoke to 50, and then she said 50. And this is exact words that came out her mouth. 50 does not determine what goes in and goes out of this documentary. And he definitely don't pay. He determine what somebody get paid. It's not his documentary like that. I was like, oh, so if it's not his documentary and I spoke to him like that, I don't need to be doing nothing with you because I'm doing this on the strength of him. But you're going to pay me if I do it. So it went back and forth, you know what I'm saying, for a little bit. And then they had Kirk Burroughs giving me calls and everything like that. What are you calling me for? You know what I'm saying? I'm not, get out of here. I know what kind of dude you is anyway. Me and you cool and everything, Kirk, but don't call me about no business with this stuff like that. And then what I found out is that he was making a deal, cutting a deal for himself as well
As Gene has explained in interviews, the stories that mattered most were once again being sidelined, and in his view, the people who were allegedly harmed were not being centered in the way he felt they should have been. This is part of the reason why, according to public discussion, 50 Cent began exploring a second season outside of Netflix. It has been suggested that he no longer trusted the platform to handle the material in the way he originally intended, and began looking at YouTube as a way to regain control over the narrative.
An interview by 50 that went viral where he revealed that he still got unreleased footage.
I seen an interview about, he said that he had a lot of footage had to be down, the documentary had to be downsized. You understand? I don't really believe that because a documentary is the documentary. And they could have had 45 minutes, they could have had an hour, to each one of those. You understand? They left out certain things. He said they even left out the one about Sarah Chapman. You understand? And for whatever reason, he probably left out a lot of other different stars too. Situations that they could have spoke about. You understand? I have a problem with the documentary, and I'm just gonna let you know that the reason I have a problem with the documentary is that they know that they took my idea. You understand? They know that when I came to them, I laid out what they should do and how the documentary should be. You understand? She can say whatever she want to say. I talked to those producers before I even talked to her. They wanted to know what I had, what I was bringing, my pictures, all that stuff like that. And I told them about me, Tim, and
Gene has continued to express respect for 50 Cent, often stating that he believes 50 operates differently than Diddy and does not manipulate situations for personal protection. From Gene's point of view, 50's involvement was about bringing information into the open rather than concealing it. Another figure, Freddie P., who previously made headlines after publicly alleging that Diddy's sons were also involved in the situation, has also spoken out in defense of 50 Cent. According to Freddie, he was contacted by producers connected to the documentary and also spoke directly with 50. After those conversations, Freddie has said he became convinced that 50 Cent was the only person involved who genuinely cared about the people who were claiming harm.
But what Fifth was doing was, he wasn't budging. I give him credit for that. You know what I'm saying? They're like, hey man, it wasn't even about the money. It was basically a response from his team, basically like, listen, we doing this on the strength of, we want people to get their story out. We want people who really was affected by him to tell their story. We don't want to base this on money. When we base this on money, then you kind of salt down, you know what? So a lot of people, when you see them telling their stories on that DVD, that's why I give the authentication of it is so. He made sure that you was only here to, if you want to tell it, tell it. I ain't trying to put nothing in your pocket. I ain't trying to incite you or coerce you to tell nothing against this man that didn't happen. If you gonna tell it, tell it. If you got something to say and you really want the world to hear it, say it. I'm not gonna pay you extra to do it. And I gave him respect for that. And basically, they were basically like, man, this not money motivated. You know, we're not moving numbers around just so people.
That belief further reinforced concerns that the larger production was not aligned with that goal. As for Jaguar Wright, she has been openly critical of the documentary. She has stated publicly that she believed the project contained misinformation and that she refused to be involved because she did not trust industry executives to release anything that could implicate themselves or their peers. After the documentary was released, Jaguar claimed that her concerns were confirmed. According to her, key figures connected to Diddy were not mentioned at all. She pointed out that individuals like Clive Davis, Jay-Z, and Oprah were completely absent from the narrative, despite what she describes as their proximity to the industry power structure.
Story isn't over. I agree. Like, that's the thing. The story's not even being told. Because in order to tell the actual whole story, you would have to include everyone that is involved. But no, this is about saving the industry and blaming it all on Diddy. Saving the industry and blaming it all on Diddy. Okay, Diddy's going to jail. He's going to do his time. I don't know what that appeal is looking like right now. Because see, the one thing that all of this documentary shit is doing is definitely picking up his possibility for an appeal to get out early. Especially with the judge and them and the appeal board having to look at the footage of him sitting there with Mark Agnifilo, pretty much working on how to fix the trial.
And for him to be watching the feds watching him.
Yeah, filming the feds. What?
Filming.
Jaguar's perspective, Diddy is being positioned as a convenient scapegoat, allowing the broader entertainment industry to distance itself from accountability. In her view, the documentary avoided addressing whether others may have played roles or enabled the behavior being discussed. One question she has repeatedly raised is this: if Diddy was being investigated under RICO statutes, then where were the alleged co-conspirators?
Needed to do in this documentary, the whole objective of this documentary was to blame it all on Diddy. The devil made me do it. Blame it all on Diddy. And the rest of the industry is nothing like this. Like when Curtis Jackson sat there in his interview with Robin and sat there and said, I did this because I don't want people thinking that the hip hop community is okay with this kind of behavior. I don't want them thinking that, we're just going to be silent while all of this is going on. Like, we're okay with this kind of behavior. And my thing is, huh? So now you speaking for all of hip hop, and all of hip hop is uncomfortable with this. Meanwhile, you got people like Jaguar who, on the low key, allegedly, Gene Deal has exposed for having his own nude tryst freak-offs.
According to Jaguar, that question was never seriously explored. She has gone on to argue that if a complete list of everyone connected to Diddy's activities ever became public, it could have devastating consequences for the entertainment industry as a whole. Jaguar has questioned how it could be believable that hundreds of alleged victims could exist over such a long period without anyone around Diddy being aware. She challenges the idea that this all happened in isolation, suggesting that it defies common sense.
Complete and utter truth comes out, three things happen. The entertainment industry collapses completely. Millions, possibly billions of advertising dollars don't get made. People go broke. Companies go under. That's why they hate me. Not because I'm telling the truth on people, because I'm telling the truth about the system. And I'm showing people the reality that the only thing that matters is that dollar. These entities, these companies, they don't care about none of these people. They don't care about none of these victims. They don't care about the perpetrators. They don't care about the prey. Shit, half the time, they're encouraging the predator. They don't care. It's all about the money.
There are also lingering questions surrounding the timeline of the documentary itself. According to critics, it seems unusual that Netflix was reportedly aware of leaked footage just 1 month after Diddy's arrest. To many observers, that detail raises additional doubts.
Announced he was going to be doing the documentary December 2023 with Netflix. And the star footage that you use to get people to re-upload or resubscribe to Netflix to make this the #1 in their TV shows division for almost 2 weeks straight. Beating out Stranger Things. How much stranger is that?
I'm not Beckham.
This footage didn't even exist when you said you were going to be doing this documentary. So we've got a videographer, a rogue videographer that has this very, very, very explosive, very explosive footage of him literally sitting on camera, planning how to go after survivors, how to poison the jury pool, how to fix his trial in advance before he's even arrested. I mean, like, is anybody not forgetting when Mark Garrett, when Garrett, no, not Garrett Goose, when Mark Agnafilo was sitting there talking to the sons in the hallway, and they're sitting there filming, and he's sitting up there. Yeah, well, see, what we got to do is we got to go and we got to put countersuits on all of these people. We have to create lawsuits ourselves. He's sitting there talking about creating lawsuits to affect public perception. He's talking about that with the kids.
The documentary was marketed heavily around the promise of unreleased footage. Yet, according to people familiar with the situation, Netflix did not even have access to that material at the time the project was announced. From the perspective of Gan Deal, Jaguar, Wright, and 50 Cent, the focus has consistently been described as getting the full story out. They have all suggested that Netflix was never truly interested in doing that. 50 Cent moved forward with the documentary despite what many describe as significant personal and professional risk. According to public discussion, he has faced backlash within the industry, with some labeling him a snitch and others allegedly applying pressure behind the scenes. There have also been claims that efforts are being made to damage 50's reputation and undermine his credibility.
I tell 50 Cent, man, I hope you're walking on a straight arrow, man, because they waiting to see you fall. They want to see you fall so bad, brother. I'm talking about, man, I'll be in the comments and I'll be just reading it like, oh, 50 got his day coming. Like, why y'all niggas so upset about a pedophile? Like, it's stuff that y'all niggas don't. It's so many people, right, that's victims of Puffy that can't speak, that's sitting back like, shut the you know what I'm saying? Like, they basically saying, you don't even know half of it. If I was to come and say my story, not me personally, but I'm saying, I've heard that 2 or 3 times. If I tell my story, but nah, I'm not trying to clout chase, I'm not trying to be a part of this, a part of that. And I'm like, hey, man.
Gene Deal has publicly warned about this possibility, stating that retaliation was likely. What has made those warnings more alarming to some observers is how quickly events appeared to unfold afterward.
Baby mama started following each other on IG an hour ago. Prepare for the worst. Jay-Z, Ja Rule, Roc Nation, Desiree Perez are out to get him out of the paint. Alert. Listen here. Everybody that it says, and Desiree Perez, all them people got dirt under them, bro. You understand? They got all them people got dirt on their fingernails. Jay-Z got dirt in his fingernails. You understand? Jay-Z was messing with young girls from our block. Tiring them. I'm putting it out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm picking a side. Desiree, husband, was a former drug dealer that she turned on a whole cartel. All of them got dirt on them. And 50 got they dirt. You understand? 50 gonna know they dirt. Because 50 got investigators, he got people that's in the street. So if they go at him, listen here, I deem him like myself, 10 times the normal man. He gonna do what he gotta do. And the whole thing about it is they trying to retaliate on him for something he did to somebody else. I feel that it's something worth seeing. It's something worth coming around because all that shit is about to fall. All that shit that we've seen in the industry, these demons want to have and turn little boys into little girls into little boys. That's just about to go out the window, bro.
Less than a week after Gene made those statements, Diddy's children announced a partnership with the Zeus Network to release their own documentary presenting Diddy's side of the story. The trailer for that project revealed that Diddy himself would be participating, which many interpreted as a direct response to the narrative surrounding 50 Cent.
Combs' sons Justin and Christian are teasing a new docuseries about their family. Justin and Christian King Combs appear in a new trailer released December 28th to Instagram by Zeus Network's founder. In the trailer, Justin and Christian sit on a couch in a screening room while a series of headlines about their father cycle on screen. At the end of the trailer, Justin's phone vibrates and he answers a collect call from the Fort Dix Federal Correctional Institute, where Combs is currently behind bars. No release date for the docuseries is given, though the teaser says viewers can expect it at some point in 2026. Combs shares Justin with ex-Misa Hilton and Christian with the late Kim Porter. The rapper is also dad to 34-year-old son Quincy and daughters Chance, 19, twins Delilah and Jesse, also 19, and Love, who is 3 years old. Combs was transferred to Fort Dix from the Metropolitan Detention Center in New York in late October after he was sentenced to 50 months in prison on prostitution. convictions.
Network has a new Diddy documentary coming out, and this time it is coming from the perspective of Diddy and his sons. All the time I thought we were about to leave Diddy in 2025. Well, this documentary is coming in 2026. And a lot of people, just like myself, are already not feeling this new documentary coming from Diddy's sons. A lot of people aren't happy about it and actually shocked that the owner of Zeus Network, Lemmy, is doing this Diddy documentary. But what a lot of people fail to forget is Lemmy and Diddy have been friends for quite some time.
Of his children arriving in court for day one of their father's trial in New York, hands gripped in solidarity.
Do you still believe your dad's innocent? How did you feel hearing that testimony? You apologize on behalf of your father. Do you believe your father's innocent? Do you still doubt your father's innocent? Your daddy got for years! Your daddy got for years for abusing women! That's wrong! You cannot lie!
The family, the foes, the joy, the pain, our voice, the loyalty, the betrayal, the lie, the love, the hate, the truth, the lies. And Diddy calling for Fort Dix.
This is a prepaid collect call from Federal Correctional Institution, Fort Dix.
When they released this trailer last night, there were so many comments to Lemmy and Zeus Network that they did not want to see this. A lot of people feel like this whole new documentary is just a PR narrative, once again being pushed by Diddy and his sons to try to clean up his image. And after hearing certain things on 50 Cent's Netflix documentary, we have to go back in time and remember what we were seeing during trial. Even when it came to Diddy's sons, Christian and Justin Combs, they both came on two separate occasions to trial wearing a free Sean Combs shirt. The first one to do this was Christian Combs during Jane's testimony, and you're not supposed to wear this stuff in front of a jury to try to sway their opinions. And the judge actually told him he had to leave and take it off. And then literally like a week later, Justin did the same exact thing. It was taken out of the courtroom by the judge. And we already saw the videos in the Netflix doc of Diddy talking to Justin, saying he needed to push out certain content to control a narrative. During the trial, there were a lot of things going on that I could see that to me felt like it was just straight PR. Do you remember all of these people that were wearing the free Diddy shirts? And it was actually a meme coin that's on their shirt. It's money sign.
Gene has stated that none of this surprised him. He claims he anticipated that any counter-documentary would focus less on addressing allegations and more on shifting attention toward 50 Cent's personal life. First of all, they're
going to try to get his baby mama stories, you know. They're going to try to get 50 baby mama stories. They're going to try to get girls that he probably dated, that he had problems and issues with and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? They're going to try to do the same thing they probably did to R. Kelly or Puff or whatever like that, and people tell their stories. You understand? But, you know, they're trying to retaliate on what he did. Let him go ahead, bruh. Because I think he's ready for it. You don't do this, and you don't do the stuff that he did or sign on to the stuff that he did with Puff. Unless you got your shit in order. Don't throw no stone if you live in a glass house. Don't throw no stone if you live in a glass house. I believe 50 ready for it. If they come at him any kind of way.
According to Gann, the goal would be to discredit 50 by any means necessary, using past controversies or personal details to change public perception. This is why, according to those involved, a second season is not about streaming platforms or corporate approval. It is being framed as an attempt to revisit the pieces that were deliberately left out the first time. That includes names that were never mentioned, connections that were ignored, and questions that many believe remain unanswered. So the discussion continues. Do you believe Diddy was acting alone, or do you think the industry is protecting someone bigger? Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you want more deep dives like this, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what comes next.